in the say, that hand, you can raise if you have to raise any query, right? And then we will unmute. So they'll just put everybody on mute right now.
Maga. Good morning, Maga.
Good morning, Vijay.
Okay, can we hear voice?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you,
My
thank you.
voice is audible.
Yes, okay, thank you. Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Okay,
Okay.
I can unmute. Okay. Okay, I can move. Vijay.
Yes,
Vijay.
yes, good morning.
Yeah, good morning, Mr. Arnachalam only is frequent message sending for he's not getting audio and video.
You asked, you please ask to send to that workshop WhatsApp group, Maga.
Okay.
Okay, they are
Thank
the
you.
deciding authority. No, they will solve the problem.
Okay. Thank you.
Sethi ji? Okay, thank you.
Can you hear me now? Am I audible?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes,
So
sir.
please mute everyone. Secretary sir would be just joining us.
Yes, sir, we are muting everybody.
We'll just wait for. I welcome all the pensioners. But we'll just start in a little while. We are just waiting for Secretary sir to join us. हेलो बात हो गई सर ज्वाइन कर रहे हैं हाँ रचना इज नॉट म्यूटेड एवरीवन उसको बोलिए ना म्यूट करने को नहीं म्यूट नहीं किया सब इधर उधर से आवाजें आ रही हैं वही है रचना वही है just tell her to because everybody she's not muted. I think a lot of people are not muted and she herself cannot hear me.
Ramanjit ma'am. Ramanjit ma'am.
Uh, I have a small request from all the participants that Secretary Sir will be joining us. So we will be putting everybody on mute, and I will request that anything which is required, any queries, it's only after the presentations are over. I will request you all to send in or speak on that point right now, because a lot of disturbance happens, then we cannot hear. So I request everybody to kindly, we have muted, but in case if not, please mute yourselves so that there's no background noise. And only when there is some query, you can, like yesterday we showed that hand, just raise it after the presentations are over, not during, and we'll come back to you. It's my request.
Excuse me, ma'am. Excuse me, ma'am. That
Yeah, I'll just call you, sir. Vishwanathan sir, I'll just call you.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, sir. Sir, I would like
Morning,
to
sir.
welcome. I would like to welcome Secretary, sir, the Department of Pensions. It is with his initiative that we have started these series of outreach programs in which we are reaching the pensioners directly. Sir, today, as you had desired, we have pensioners with us, mostly aged 75 and above, and we are trying to cover South India by and large, sir. And so it's a very, very important program today, since in the awareness program, we would be covering a lot of information on family pension and commutation of pension, additional pension, and also the recently launched face authentication technology to give live certification. Sir has been very kind to give us this opportunity, and he is participating because he has a series of very important meetings also scheduled today. So I would first request Sir to give his welcome address. Mr. V. Srinivas, Secretary Pension.
Very good morning. I have some very recognized faces. Mr. Shanmugam Pillaiji, good morning. I saw you in the last meeting also, and I'm happy to see you again. I see Mr. Mahalingam also. He was there in one of our last meetings. Then when I go through the list of participants, I have a lot of familiar faces I notice, and this is my third interaction the with the pensioners associations, and today I was very keen to discuss two new technologies. One is family pensions should be discussed, and also the face authentication technology should be discussed. So these I thought were very important matters. A few days back, the former chief secretary of Gujarat, his family had reached out to me saying that there was a problem in administering their family pension, and I felt an intervention was immediately necessary from the higher levels in government of India. So that actually sensitized me to the challenges that senior pensioners are facing with regard to administering family pensions. So I thought I must meet all of you once to understand how family pensions are currently being implemented and what are the challenges, if any, that need to be addressed. The second one I wanted to understand is with regard to the face authentication app that has been launched recently, and how is the progress on the face authentication application, and also there have been the consolidation of CCS pension rules, CCS commutation rules, which the department undertook after a number of years. So, in terms of knowledge dissemination, I wanted to have another round of interactions with each of you to understand whether there were any areas which required government intervention and which required any further inputs from the higher governance levels. So this was the broad objective. Of course, I'm getting to know you better, and I'm happy to meet all of you once again. And I would like to listen to you and understand from you how the challenges with regard to family pension are going on, and how the face authentication applications and also the new rules that have been issued are being taken up. So thank you very much for this. Is all what we have listed for the agenda today. We'd like to be more in listening mode. There is a brief presentation that the Department of Pension has arranged, so we can see that, and then we'd like to listen to you and understand from you how the various issues that I have flagged can be best addressed. So thank you very much for making time to join this meeting today. Yes.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much, sir. So, how we have structured today's program, that we'll have a series of these presentations, and then we'll have the interactive session, sir. Because there are so many pensioners who are right now online, sir. So we have requested them to, because we have a WhatsApp group also with them, and also a mail and on the message board. So we will take the questions from there also, sir. So now, sir, I would request Shri Harjeet Singh, our senior consultant, to start the presentation. Family pension, additional pension, and commutation of pension. Mr. Harjeet Singh, please start with the.
Good morning, sir. So in this presentation, sir, we will be covering basically three things. One is family pension, then additional pension, and then commutation of pension, which are of interest to the pensioners. So first we'll cover this family pension. So first we will know who are the members in the family who are eligible for family pension on death of a pensioner. Slide. So on death of a pensioner, this is the order: first widow or widower. If there is a widow or widower, the family pension will go to the widow or widower. If there are no widower, then it goes to the children. Within children, the first priority is the children below the age of 25 years. If there is no child within this 25 years, then it will be given to a child who is having some disability. And if there is no child with disability, then it will go on to a unmarried, widowed, or divorced daughter. So this is the order in which the family pension is given, one at a time, basically. Then if there are no widow or widower and no children, then it goes to the parents. And if there are no parents, then it goes to siblings with a disability. Other children, other siblings are not eligible. Only the siblings with a disability and who are not in earning capacity, they only are eligible for family pension. Then children other than disabled children, they are eligible for family pension if they are dependent. They were dependent on the government servant at the time of their death. And dependency is taken by the total income, and income it should not exceed the minimum family pension plus DA thereon. For example, today the minimum family pension is 9,000 rupees per month plus, and DA is 31%. If somebody's income is more than this, say around 11,000, 12,000 or more, then he will not be eligible for family pension. Then dependent children, disabled children or parents or disabled siblings, they can be co-authorized in the PPO. When a pensioner government servant retires, in his PPO, normally the name of the spouse is indicated. But if there are no other eligible members along with the spouse, the name of a disabled child or a dependent parents or disabled sibling, whosoever is first in the priority, her name can also be included in the PPO. And when the spouse is no longer there, then the family pension will automatically be given by the bank, and he will not have to go back to the office to get his PPO issued. On the basis of the same PPO, the bank will disburse the pension. Next. So what is the amount of family pension if a pensioner dies? If a pensioner dies, then up to the age of 6, if he survived, had he survived 67, up to the age of 67 years or for 7 years, whichever is earlier, the family pension is given at the rate of 50%. But after that, the family pension rate is 30% of the basic pay. So minimum family pension is rupees 9,000, and if it is given at 50%, then it is 1,25,000. And if it is given in 30%, then the maximum family pension is 75,000 per month. Next. For the child with a disability, there are special provision in the rules. It is family pension to a child with a disability is payable for life. And for a mentally retarded child, there is a provision that, for example, after the death of the parents, there will be nobody to look after the mentally retarded child. So there is a provision, either the guardian, or if there is no guardian, the parents can themselves nominate somebody. They can nominate somebody after their death, the so and so will be looking after and will be getting the family pension in respect of the disabled child, mentally retarded child. So this is a provision which is rarely being used, and I will request the pensioners to make use of this provision. If there is anybody disabled child, mentally retarded child, then they should nominate somebody so that after their death, the child doesn't suffer. Then in the case, as I mentioned, in the case of other children, the dependency is decided by the income, that is rupees 9,000 plus DA. But in the case of disabled child, the eligibility criteria is relaxed, and it is, in their case, the minimum, the income should not exceed minimum the family entitled family pension. For example, if the last pay is rupees 1 lakh, then his income should not be more than rupees 30,000 is the normal family pension. It should not exceed more than 30,000 plus DA. So 9,000 criteria does not apply in the case of a child with a disability. And one important provision is that a child with a disability is eligible for family pension only if the disability had occurred during the lifetime of the parents. If some parents have died and family pension has stopped, then subsequently the child gets disabled, then in that case the family pension will not be available to the disabled child. Then disability certificate, many times people are asked to give disability certificate on more than one occasion every year or something. The disability certificate is to be given only once. Once the family pension is sanctioned, if the disability is permanent, then there is no need to give this disability certificate frequently. It will be given only once, but only in the case of temporary disability, the disability certificate is to be given once every 5 years. Next. So in the case of unmarried or widowed or divorced daughter, they are eligible for family pension even after the age of 25 years. So, but their turn will come only if there is no child below the age of 25 years and there is no other child with a disability. If there is a child with a disability, even if he or she is younger to that widowed or divorced or unmarried daughter, he will be eligible for family pension, and this daughter will not be eligible for family pension. And another important provision is that the widowed or divorced daughter will be eligible for family pension if the death of her husband or the divorce took place during the lifetime of her parents. If some daughter gets widowed or gets divorced after the death of the parents, then she will not be entitled to family pension. But there is a exception to that, that if the divorce petition was filed during the lifetime of the parents, then in that case, and then the divorce actually takes, the decree is issued after the death of the parent. In that case also the daughter will be eligible for family pension, but only from the date that decree is issued, that that divorce actually takes place. Next one. Normally, as I mentioned, the family pension is payable to only one person at a time, but in certain circumstances, the family pension can be shared by more than one person. For example, if there is more than one widow and they are legally widowed, if the personal law permits that, then only it can be divided between one or more than one, two or three, whatever widows. Then if there is a widow and an eligible child from a wife who has already died, and it was the widow is from second marriage, then the child from earlier marriage will also be eligible for family pension. So then it will be shared between the widow and the child from the earlier marriage. Then if there is a widow and an eligible child from a divorced wife or from a wide or wideable marriage child, then in that case also the family pension will be shared by widow and the child from wide or wideable marriage or from divorced wife. Then children from two, if there are more than two marriage, more than one marriage already, and there are children from those marriages, then children from those, if they are eligible, they will be eligible to share the family pension. Then if there are twin children and you cannot decide who is elder or who is younger, in that case the family pension will be shared by the twin children. Then in certain cases, normally a person gets only one family pension, but in some cases a person can get even two family pension. These are the circumstances. For example, if a child, if his or her both parents are government servants, if one dies, then the family pension goes to the other, to his or her spouse. But after both of them die, then the family pension in respect of both the parents goes to the eligible child. But the only thing is that this the total of the two family pension should not exceed the maximum admissible family pension. For that is 1,25,000 if it is an enhanced family pension, and 75,000 if it is normal family pension. So if there is a military pensioner and he is getting a pension from the military, and then he comes to the civil service and he is also getting a pension from civil side, and if he dies, then family pension will be admissible from both the sources. So widow will be getting family pension from military also and from civil side also. Then there is another one, if there is a dependent, for example, if there is a if a government servant dies, his wife widow gets family pension, and but this family, and if that widow has a child who is in the government service, and if the child also dies, then this, because the widow is getting a family pension, she will not be considered to be having her income. This family pension will not be treated as income, so she will be considered as dependent on government child also. And if the child also dies, then she will be eligible for to get both the family pension in respect of her husband as well as in respect of her child. But only, as I mentioned, the total of the two family pension cannot exceed the maximum admissible family pension, whether enhanced or ordinary. Next. So now we come to how does a pensioner, if a pensioner dies, how should his or her family claim family pension? So spouse and disabled child, or the disabled child or dependent parents, whomsoever the name is there in the PPO, he or she will have to approach the bank straight away, along with the form 12, along with a death certificate and ID proof, and the family pension will start right from the bank. He doesn't have to go to the office to get his or her family pension sanctioned. So sometimes we get complaints that the banks ask for details of the family members, other family members, etc. But that is not required at all. Only the details which are required in Form 12 only, they are to be given. So no other details are required, and nothing else is to be given. So only that limited information in Form 12 is to be given. If one thing is important here, if the spouse, we encourage the spouse, government servant, to have a joint account with the spouse, so that if the government servant dies, the spouse will get the family pension from the same account. Otherwise, if the government servant dies, then the spouse will have to get a new account open, and that will delay and create some difficulties also. So it is always advisable to have a joint account. So otherwise the procedure is same, that they will have to fill a form 12 for getting this family pension. So as per our rules, the bank
Please,
has to
please,
commence the
Ajit,
family
please tell the details of Form 12.
form 12. तान्या जरा वो hyperlink कर दी. This is a Form 12, which is a new form in the new rules, no? Because we have notified, as the Secretary Sir mentioned, we have notified the new rules in 2021, and this form is in that new rules. It's not very legible. So I will request everybody to go through that Form 12 that is available on our website also, and the whole entire rules are available. Form 12 is also available. So if you can see, there are not much details to be given, only the names, government servant's name and claimant's name and his account number, etc. is to be given. Not much details are to be given. Then if in other cases where the family pension, name of the family pension is not indicated in the PPO, for example, if a child who is able-bodied child, his or her name is not included in the PPO, in that case, after the death of parents and spouse, then the child has to apply to the office, head of office, for claiming family pension. But for that, there is a different form, that is Form 10, for issue of fresh PPO. In this, the entire details regarding that claimant have to be given. His ID proof, his age, and everything, account number, etc. is to be given. Is it available, Tanya, that Form 10? I think थोड़ा पढ़ने में दिक्कत आ रहा है. So again, I will request kindly see that Form 10 also in the book, which is available on our website. So for claiming family pension from the head of office, he has to attach a death certificate and a proof of income, because as I mentioned, the claimant is that child is eligible for family pension only if his income is less than rupees 9,000 plus DA. So for that, he has to provide a proof to the head of office that his income is less than that. And for that, it can be preferably it will be ITR, and if it is not there, then some SDM certificate or so. So those documents are to be given for, as proof of income. Next. So in the case of if the name is already there in the PPO, then there will be no difficulty. It will be entirely for the bank to sanction the commence the family pension. Not much work to be done by the office or the claimant. But in the case where the name of the claimant is not there in the PPO, then he will give the application in Form 10 to the head of office, and the head of office will forward the case to the PEO along with a sanction for family pension within 1 month of the receipt of the claim. Then PPO will be issued by the PPO and sent to CPO within 1 month thereafter. The CPO will then issue a special seal of authority and send it to the bank within 10 days. Now we have reduced that period. Earlier it used to be 21 days. Now we have reduced it to 10 days in the new rules. Then thereafter the bank will have to commence the family pension within 15 days after the receipt of this special seal of authority from the CPO. So this is all about family pension. If you have any queries, we will answer after the other presentations are over. Now we come over to the additional pension part, additional pension and additional family pension. Next. As you all know, pensioners and family pensioners, they are entitled to a additional family pension or family pension, which is 20% if the age is 80 years and less than 85 years, and the 30% if the age is 80 more than 85 years, but and less than 90 years, and so on. 40% if 90 years to 95 years, 50% 95 to 100 years, and 100% of the pension is additional pension if the age is more than 100 years, 100 years or more. This is, it is important because there are some issues that when is this available, this family additional pension. It is on completion of that age, 80 years or 85 years, not when you enter the age of 80 years. That is as per our rules. Only after you complete the age of 80 years and enter into 81st year of age, then only you are entitled to additional pension of 20%, not when you reach 79 years and enter the age of 80 years. Then but one thing is that this additional family pension or pension is admissible from the first of the month in you complete the age of 80 years. If, for example, if the date of birth is 80 years, if somebody completes the age of 80 years in the month of August 2022, his date of birth is 20th August, then also he will get the additional pension or family pension from 1st of August 2022, not from 20th of August 22. Then the dearness relief is also admissible on additional pension. So 20% plus dearness relief will be the increase on 80 years, on attaining the age of 80 years. Then credit of this, because your age is already mentioned in the PPO, so additional credit of additional pension or family pension will be automatic. The bank has got it in their data bank, your age and date of birth, and on the basis of that, your additional pension will be credited automatically by the bank. If it is not credited, then you have a reason to complain, but otherwise normally you don't have to apply or go to the bank for starting this additional pension or family pension. So I will request pensioners to get ensure that their name, their age or date of birth is entered in the their PPO and bank account, so that there is no difficulty in starting the additional pension or family pension. Next. This commutation of pension. Next. As you all know, commutation is optional. Most of you must have already commuted this pension, and it was earlier, it used to be 1/3 of the basic pension before 1196, and after that it has been this limit has been increased to 40%. So anybody can commute either 40% or even less than 40% of the basic pension. And if you commute the pension within 1 year of the retirement, then there is no medical examination. But if you commute pension after 1 year, then you will have to undergo a medical examination for getting this commuted pension. So there is a commutation factor. Earlier it used to be higher. It must have been higher when you retired, but it has been, earlier it was 9 point something, and now it is 8.194. So it has been reduced by around 15% from 2006. Next. There are some important points to be noted here is that on commutation of pension, if you commute the pension, the dearness relief is admissible on the entire pension before commutation. So only the commuted pension gets reduced, not the dearness relief on that. For example, if 100 is the pension, 40% is commuted, then DA will always be on 100 and not on 60 rupees. And even after pay commission, if 100 gets revised to 300, DA will be on 300 and not 300 minus 40. So DA will always be on the entire original pension and not pension after deduction of commuted pension. And another important point is that deductions are not made from family pension. If some pensioner dies before the restoration of the commuted pension, because this commuted pension is restored after 15 years. So if a pensioner dies before this 15-year period and pension is not restored, commuted pension is not restored, and family pension starts, then the commuted part of the pension is not deducted from the family pension. Family pension will be given in it, total whatever is entitled to. There will be no deduction in regard to this commuted pension from the family pension. Next, please. Before 1986, as you know, this commuted pension was not restored at all. It is only after a Supreme Court judgment in 86 that the commuted pension is now restored after 15 years. So another important is, if you commute the pension after your retirement. For example, if you don't commute the pension on retirement and you commute after 6 months or 2 years, then the 15 years period will start from the date you get the commuted value of pension, and not from the date of your retirement. Because there were many references earlier on that people were they commuted the pension after 2 years or 3 years, and then they were saying that this commuted pension should be restored from 15 years after the retirement, because that is the rule. But that is not the rule. The rule is that it will be restored only after completion of 15 years from the deduction, when the commuted value of pension is given and deduction starts, not before that. So date of restoration of this commuted pension is also mentioned in the PPO. So again, you don't have to go to the bank for getting this your pension commuted pension restored. It will be automatically restored after 15 years. But again, if you don't get it, then you can always lodge your grievance or something. But normally the banks have in their data bank, and it is restored after 15 years automatically. Next. So in addition to this family pension, additional pension and commuted pension, we have added one slide which is also of interest to you, that is regarding fixed medical allowance. As you know, pensioners who are residing in CGHS areas, they are they can avail the CGHS facility, or if they don't pay after buying that CGHS contribution, but if they don't pay the CGHS contribution and don't get the CGHS facility, then they are not entitled to anything. They are not entitled to fixed medical allowance. So then the pensioners they can avail who are residing outside the CGHS area, they can also avail the CGHS facility for both IPD as well as OPD. But they have another option, that is they can only choose only IPD facility, that is hospitalization facility. But for OPD facility, because they cannot go to a dispensary because there is no dispensary in their area, then they can have 1,000 rupees as a fixed medical allowance. So that is only in respect of such pensioners can have the IPD facility, CGHS card for IPD facility, as well as fixed medical allowance of rupees 1,000 per month. So the pensioners have a choice. If they are they have already getting a CGHS and they want to switch over to fixed medical allowance and they are residing in outside CGHS area, then they can during their lifetime they can change this option once in their lifetime, not for more than one chance. So pensioner residing in CGHS area, as I mentioned, they have no option to avail FMA in lieu of CGHS. They cannot surrender their OPD facility and then say ki I will be claiming FMA because this facility is not available to them. So this is all about this today's presentation. Thank you.
I think now we can finish the last one also, and then we can take the question answer session. Tanya, you can show the DLC one also.
Good afternoon, everyone. So through this presentation, the process of downloading the applications and generation of DLC will be explained. So firstly, the requirements to run the application. The pensioner who wants to download this application should have an Android phone, preferably version 7 and above. The storage of 64 GB should be there, because this minimum 500 MB, as this application will be using this much space in the phone. And two applications are needed for it. One is the Aadhaar Face RD application, and the another one is the Jeevan Pramaan application. So first is the Aadhaar Face RD application. So the pensioner needs to download the Face RD service provided by UIDAI from Play Store. It is a background application. So by background application, it means that this is a supportive application which runs along Jeevan Pramaan. So you might not be able to view it in your app gallery, but if you want to view the application, what you can do is you can go to the settings, applications or app information, and there you can search for Aadhaar Face RD. And if you are able to view it there, you can go to the permissions options and enable the camera, phone, storage, messages, settings. And then the next step is downloading the Jeevan Pramaan application. So to download this application, you can go to the website jeevanpramaan.gov.in, and you can click on this option there, as you can see on the screen. After clicking on it, you will be able to view your screen will look like this. You can click on the download option, and after clicking on the download option, you will be taken to this window. You need to enter your email ID and the captcha code, and then you can click on I agree to download. Next step will be that Jeevan Pramaan will send the OTP that will be mentioned here. The OTP will be sent to this email ID. You can copy paste the email ID and you can write it here. And after that, the Jeevan Pramaan will ask you for the option to select the option. It will give you a list of options that you need to select from. So you need to select the mobile face app download option. After clicking on this option, the link for downloading the Jeevan Pramaan application will be sent on the email ID that you mentioned here. The same ID on where you will receive the OTP. After that, you can click on the link and click on the install the application option, and the application will get downloaded on your Android phone. Next is to how to generate your DLC using the application, Jeevan Pramaan application. So you can go to your phone app gallery. You can open Jeevan Praman application. After opening it, you will see this. Your screen will flash a message of supportive biometric device found. So it means that your Jeevan Praman has located the Aadhaar Face RD application on your phone, and it is asking for permission to work along with that application. So you need to click on yes there, and after that this your screen will be ready for doing the operator authentication. So basically operator authentication, it's a one time process and anybody can do it. Your grandkids, your kids, anybody can do it. Not necessarily the pensioner should do the operator authentication. And in order to do the operator authentication, your Aadhaar number, email ID and mobile number are required. After doing it, an OTP will be sent on the number that you will mention here. While doing the operator authentication, the number that you will mention here, the OTP will be sent on that number. And after submitting the OTP, the application will ask to scan your face. So you will receive a notification like this. And you need to select the while using the app option, because it will ask your permission to scan your face. For scanning, and next is the pensioner authentication stage. So here you need to enter the Aadhaar number and the mobile number. The email ID, mentioning the email ID is not necessary in this stage. So similarly, the OTP will be sent on the number, and then the next window will open up wherein the Jeevan Praman will ask for the pensioner's details like PPO number, disbursing agency, bank, the department from which they retired, details like whether they are re-employed or they're remarried. And after filling in all the details, you can click on submit and then click on this, and it will ask you for your scanning your face. This pop-up window will appear wherein it will guide you how to place your phone camera in front of your face. So it should be in front of your face as shown in this image, not below your face, not tilted upward. It should be exactly in front of your face. And after clicking on this checkbox, you can click on proceed here. After this, your face will start scanning your face. It will look something like this. And do follow the instructions that will come on your screen, like blink your eyes, look at the camera motion or poor lighting. And very important thing, while generating the DLC, you need to ensure that there is enough light falling on your face for the application to work well. Natural light is suggested usually. It is suggested that people can do the DLC generation in the natural light. And very important information that any wrong information, for example, PPO number, wrong account name, a bank account name or bank number, will lead to rejection of your life certificate. So ensuring that the correct details are mentioned is very important. After the generation of DLC, a message like this will flash on your screen. It will tell you your Praman ID and your PPO number. And after you click on OK, you will receive a message on your mobile phone, which will send you the link for downloading the Jeevan Praman from the website. And also it will mention your Praman ID. So you can click on the link, you can feed in your Praman ID and click on OK. Again, an OTP will be sent to your number. You can copy the OTP and paste it there, and then you can download the Jeevan Praman from there. And another thing, after submitting successful submission of life certificate, after 2-3 days, you will receive a message from your bank stating that your life Jeevan Praman has been submitted successfully. That's all from my side. If you have any questions, you can ask now.
Yeah, so both the presentations we have concluded. Ramanjit ma'am, you can please organize the question answer session.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
One by one, the questions can be asked either on the message board or whatever way, and then they can be answered.
Yes, sir. So we, like we had informed all the participants yesterday that we have this icon here with this hand shown here. Anyone who wishes to raise a question, please click on this and we'll immediately get back to you. You can ask your question and then we'll will you get the answer? So, who would like to ask a question on this? Anyone? Any queries?
Yes, yes.
Yes, yes, sir.
Shall I talk?
Yes, sir. Please.
Say,
Yes, sir.
I have. Is there any proposal for restoration of commuted value after 12 years? That is one question. Number two, disability, widow, and divorced daughter. Will you consider the question of family pension if they acquire this status after the death of the pensioner or his spouse? Number three, FMA, there is a kind of rigidity about FMA. That if a pensioner opts for CGHS, then she opts out because she is shifting to a non-CGHS area. She will not be allowed to opt for FMA re-opt. So there should be facility for re-opting FMA or CGHS depending upon the convenience of the pensioner wherever they reside. I have sent a particular case through your WhatsApp.
Yes, sir. We have received that case, so we'll just go one by one. Harjeet, sir. The first question is about 12 years. They have it's a
No, for
request.
the present, there is nothing, no proposal.
Madam, one more question.
Sir, 1 second. Sir, what we'll do is we'll go one by one because it's difficult
Yeah,
to,
right, right, right. Okay,
so,
okay.
so we'll go
Okay,
one by
okay.
one.
So,
Thank you.
First question,
so,
sir, has just asked you that at present is 15 years. Hanji,
so
Harjeet, sir.
15 years, and there is no proposal to reduce it less than 15 years. Already, this has undergone some court cases, also High Court, Supreme Court, and they have ruled that there is no changes required. Even the Seventh Pay Commission, they also said this is okay. So for the present, there is no proposal to reduce it less than 15 years. Then second
Next,
question was regarding daughter, widowed or divorced daughter. So as per rules, as I mentioned in my presentation, the divorce or this death widow that should have taken place during the lifetime of the parents, because as per our rules, the family pension is payable to the dependent children only. If the daughter was married at the time of death of the parents, then she was not dependent on our parents. So therefore, after 10 years or 15 years, the daughter gets widowed or divorced. That doesn't mean that she will start getting family pension in respect of our late father. So so the rule is very rational, and there's no change proposed in that also. Then what was the third question regarding
FMA, sir. FMA
FMA?
change.
No,
Yes.
FMA, because there is one option for the change of, I don't know, we will, आपने note भेजा है, we will look into that. If the pensioner dies and the family pension, there is a family pension and she resides somewhere else, whether there is an option available or not, that we will have to look into. We will reply to you separately.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Selvanan, can I raise a question?
Yes, sir. Please.
I have two questions. Even though we say converting from pension to family pension is very easy, there is a lot of delay we found in recently in the pension disbursing banks. More than 6 months, 8 months, it is happening. Even though during the pandemic also it is happening like that. Can it penal interest be introduced so that this can be speeded up? Some bank will have some responsibility. Question number one. Two, I am from Department of Space. There is an issue regarding 2 additional increments and special pay in 7th CPC revision. Still, it is not resolved properly. Is there any action to resolve it? I think I understand the Department of Pension Welfare is on the job. What will be the timeline to complete that resolving the issue? These are the two questions.
So first question was regarding
Delay in commencement of family pension.
delay in commencement. So if you go through our new rules, there is a provision. There is a provision if there is a delay in sanction of pension or family pension or gratuity, then interest is also to be paid for that delayed period, and also the responsibility will be fixed. Your question is some slightly different, that if the delay is on the part of the bank. Whether they will also be covered by this, that we will have to look into. But if the delay, there is a delay on the part of the office in sanctioning the pension or family pension or gratuity, then definitely there is a provision now in the rules to allow interest on that delayed period. So
And
that
normally
that
family
is
pension has to be automatic because it is already in the
no,
PPO.
we agree. So if there is a delay and if the delay is not on the part of the claimant, then that also can be considered, and that we will look into separately.
The second part of the question regarding two additional.
As you already mentioned, we are seized of this matter. We have asked for certain information from the basically three scientific departments, and as soon as they give the information, we will proceed further. So I cannot give a timeline here because it all depends on the cooperation of the three user departments. No. So
Thank
as
you,
soon
sir.
as we get information from those departments, we will certainly move very fast.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, next question.
Any other questions from the participants? Some questions I've received on my WhatsApp group, who is replying both separately.
One more question.
Yes, sir.
See, there is a parliamentary standing committee recommendation for commencing additional pension from the age of 65. You may be seized of the matter. And what is your reaction about it? You are collecting some data, I understand.
So
Yes,
you know
we are collecting data. We are collecting data. That is what is the correct information. Decision will be taken after data is collected. So we are right now, there is a recommendation and data is being collected. That is fact.
Please allow me to repeat one more question. See, the divorced daughter and widowed daughter and disabled child, their status as children of the pensioner or pensioner is not changing because of the time lag. So is it not a deserving case worth the reopening, a revisiting? There is no rule, I agree. There is no rule. But the pension rule itself is not something which was there before 30 years. Over the period of 30 years, a lot of changes have come because you were making a lot of revisits to the rule. So on that count, will you reconsider or are you prepared to revisit in deserving cases? See, when income is there, you need not give anything. They can make their own living. But if there is a deserving case, deserving parents,
So we will take up your question one by one. The first is with respect to widowed daughter. So
Yes.
like it was said in the presentation, the widowed daughter basically should have been dependent. Subsequent to that, it is not as per our rules.
Sir, it is a social development which one cannot choose during the lifetime of their parents.
No. You see, if the parents die and after 10 years the daughter gets divorced or widowed, she was having a married life for that 10 years. She was not dependent at the time of death of parents. She was not dependent on her parents. So after 10 years, if she gets divorced, that doesn't mean now the pension should start again in respect of his deceased parents. No. So this is something which we had examined long back, and we have issued detailed instructions on that also. So I don't think there is a scope for any further reconsideration on that.
Yeah, we can go on to the next question.
Yes.
Yeah, but today's discussion is about above 75 years of age, pensioners above 75 years of age, and what are the challenges that they are facing. So, is there any major points that you wish to flag? In your associations, do you have pensioners above 75 years of age, Mr. Pillai? In your association?
Yes.
And
More than 25 people have given nominations.
Acha, okay. And
sir, one more question. This disabled child during the lifetime, why there is no provision for incorporating their name in the PPO when the parents are alive? Now the process will start after the death of the parents. Somebody else
No,
has to indicate.
there is a process. There is a, I mean, it can be included in the PPO. They can, that is the meaning of co-authorization. That is the meaning of co-authorization. If there is a disabled child, then that disabled child's name can be co-authorized in the PPO, and the process will not start for including. If the name is co-authorized, the pension will start immediately.
Is
It
it in
is
the
there.
new rule?
No,
Is it in
No,
the
it
new?
was there in the earlier
It
rule
was there in the
also.
earlier rule also.
But
It
the
was there.
authorities are refusing to entertain such applications during the
No.
lifetime. You come after the death of the parent.
So
That is the
please,
advice.
you can send us an email and name the authorities, some of example cases where, so we can give a clarification to them, because it is as
Thank you.
per.
Thank you. Thank
Okay.
you. Thank you.
So we can go on to the next question. Like Secretary Sir very aptly said, that this is a discussion 75 years and above. Like most of the challenges come in terms of life certificate. So if there are any questions, because this department has done so much for life certification, now you can easily give. Earlier there used to be queues outside banks. Now it is not required. There is a system of video KYC. You can even tie up with the banker and give it from home. There is a process in which you can call the IPBP, Indian Post and Payment Bank. We have tied up with them. The Grameen Dak Seva will come. You can use their application and book an appointment. Takes only 75 rupees. The postman will come home and you can give it at your doorstep. Then there is also a provision in which 12 public sector banks, there is a consortium. You can call them also. The banker will come home and take your life certificate. And the best one, which we gave a presentation on right now, is the face authentication technique, in which Android phone, it might have seemed very, very cumbersome in the presentation, but takes only 5 minutes and 60 seconds for the live certificate to come into your mobile phone. So I'm aware that the senior pensioners will find it very difficult to operate. So they can download, take the help of some grandchild or some child to download in one particular phone, and once a phone becomes an operator phone, then any number of live certificates can be taken from that particular phone, and every year it will be very, very smooth. So we want, our target is that all pensioners should use this facility, and the live certification will not be a problem now for them. We can take more questions, Ramanjit ma'am.
Yes. So, if there are any more questions, I would request you all to please come forward with your questions.
So I think if there are no,
The entire issue of above 75 years pensioners, in terms of life certificate, in terms of face authentication, I hope the issues have been duly addressed. We have Professor Ramalingam here. Professor Ramalingam, are you happy? Kindly unmute yourself. I can't hear him.
sir, he is on mute actually.
Sir,
Yes,
sir,
sir.
one last question. Sir, one last question. This face identification,
Yes.
can a pensioner who is not well versed in the operating this mechanism, can he get it done through some other agency?
Yes, just
Absolutely.
one minute. We'll reply. Reply. Let me also hear to one or two more. Yes, Professor. Yes, Professor Ramalingam, please continue.
Sir, regarding commutation, 15 years they put. I just calculated 10,000 I paid every month. For 15 years, it comes 18 lakhs. And if you calculate like GPF interest, it comes 20 lakhs, more than 20 lakhs. But I received only 11 lakhs. And the repo rate and being now the bank rate is 5%, 5.5% they are giving. In this regard, if you consider that rate, you can reduce the time 12 years or 13 years like that. It is
No,
my.
I'll answer.
We'll take a look.
I'll answer that.
Just a minute, Sanjeev. Just a minute. Let's hear some more. We have Girish Kanatogagi? Kanagogotegi?
What's that?
Yeah, Girish.
Yes, sir. Good afternoon.
Yes.
Yes.
Good afternoon, sir. Yeah, I have already given my questions in
Writing. Okay.
and should I use more time to read them now, or
No, not
we can
required.
go ahead with the answers?
We will go
If
through.
you want me to read them, I will read them.
No, don't bother. We have them. We have them. Then we have. I hope all the 75
Oh,
year
oh,
associations are getting life certificates and using the Department of Posts or the other services like face authentication app. He's not hearing. Okay. Then we have one more. No? We have Gyanathikam. Mr. Gyanathikam is there. Why Gyanathikam? Yes. Viswanathan, tell me. Mr.
Yes,
Viswanathan,
sir.
tell me.
Yes, sir. Welcome, sir. I am Viswanathan, Secretary, Bukper Pensioner Association. That on behalf of pensioner and family pensioners aged above 75 and above, unable to attend this meeting, I wish to bring few points, suggestions for your favorable consideration. Point number one, sir. That the grant of fixed medical allowance.
Brief,
The
please. Viswanathan, Mr. Viswanathan, please be very brief. Please be very brief. Please be very brief. Yes, please go ahead.
The grant of fixed medical allowance to the central government pensioners residing in area not covered under CGHS are getting rupees 1,000 from 1/7/2017. It is very meager amount, sir. For family treatment, everything is a month is very difficult to maintain. It can be enhanced from 1,000 to any higher amount, 2,000 or 3,000. Yeah. First point. Second point, the quantum of age-related pension and family pension can be reconsidered as follows. Instead of that 80 years, from 70 years, 30% of revised basic pension to family pension. That 80 years, 40%. 90 years, 50%. From 100 years, 1,000%, 100% of revised basic pension. For the reason is this, above 80 years, no very minimum, meager people is living. That is very not used to not going to the pensioners or family pensioners. That's why we are requesting this proposal. Third point, sir. CGHS facilities should be extended to the autonomous employees, that is pensioners, who were converted from the central government institutions. That the central government is recruited for purely central government. After 30 years, 40 years, that is converted to the autonomous body. That persons will be specially considered for CGHS facilities. That the last meeting also I put this demand. Then fourth point, sir, the online state-based direct awareness workshop or program or pension-related can be conducted quarterly, half-yearly for the welfare of the pensioners and the family pensioners. And fifth point, at present, the pension disposing from concerned banks on 28th of every month. This date may be reconsidered for 25th of every month, which is the easy to mobilize for old age pensioners. Then the last point, sir, the suggestions regarding issue of new laptops for notified associations considered in the last VC meeting on 5/1/2022. This is not yet received any communication from the department. Kindly issue earlier, sir. Thank you very much.
Okay, I can respond to that. I can respond to that.
We note down the points. We'll send responses because it will take very long because these are issues that have been handled.
Yes.
So broadly, I get the impression that the face authentication app is being adopted. That is one that I wanted to understand. Second, in terms of life certification, there is no major issue. In terms of medical claims of above 75, no issue has been flagged so far. And also in terms of the services being provided by Department of Posts, I hope those services are satisfactory. That is, I think overall things appear to be quite satisfactory and the system is functioning well. That is what I take from this discussion. And of course, the specific queries in terms of changing emoluments, in terms of GPF interest rates, these are actually numbers which need some clarification. We will clarify to you on a bilateral basis, individually. Okay. Sanjeev ji, you can conclude this.
Sir. Okay, sir. So I would now request Ruchir to please give the vote of thanks.
Thank you, sir. It was a very welcome and vibrant discussion. As a policy department, it's very important for us to talk to pensioners, basically for two things. First is how to improve our policy, how to make changes in the policy, and whatever reforms we are doing, whether they are being implemented on the ground or not. So your feedback is the best feedback, and we always look forward to that. I really thanks Secretary Sir to take time out of his busy schedule. Right now we are in between of the Parliament sessions, and he is busy and all that. Thank you so much, sir. I would also convey my thanks to all the pensioners and Pensioner Association for joining us today. I would also convey my thanks to Joint Secretary, sir, and all my team who has made this event successful. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you very much. It is very reassuring. Good that you organized this, Sanjeev. And let me thank you and all your team. It is reassuring to know that overall the system is working quite satisfactorily, and no major grievances have been flagged. So we will have one more round for non-India also for above 75 to understand how the new face authentication app and also the other features of life certification and medical benefits are being taken. We'll
Thank you
continue
very much.
touch with all of you. And Vishwanathanji will respond to you. Vishwanathanji, we will respond to you. Also, Shanmugam Pillai Garu and also Professor Jairaj, we will respond to the points that you have raised. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
So I think we can just
Yeah,
leave the
it was
meeting
a very
now.
nice presentation. Very nice.
Right.
Thank you.
You can leave the meeting now, and we'll send you the replies to your queries.
Okay, thank you.